And a good chilly Tuesday morning to you. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley here on the NCW Life Channel. In for Dan Kuntz, I'm Eric Granstrom on this fourth day of February 2020. Thanks for joining us here this morning. I'll get you your latest local news coming up, also the world of sports. We have a couple of familiar names to toss your way on the national front as far as Seattle sports is concerned. Marco Gonzalez and Steve Hutchinson. More on that coming up. Also, today is day 2 of our ramp up for the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant. Wow, that's a mouthful. We'll meet 2 more candidates coming up later on this morning here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. But before we get to any of that, let's see what's happening outside our window as we go to Sky-Fi Wireless Network. Take a look at our tower cams this morning. Oh, would you say that's a robin egg blue this morning? Absolutely gorgeous look upon the Wenatchee Valley. Mostly calm right now, but looking for maybe some snow in the offering later on this morning and today. But gorgeous look at the Wenatchee Valley as we wake up, rise and shine for a Tuesday, 4th of February, 2020. Let's go to camera 2 now, and we'll take a different look at the Wenatchee Valley and kind of see that cloud cover that's slowly being drawn like a shade across the horizon as we look down from Omi Gardens this morning at the North End Bridge. And kind of quiet as far as traffic is concerned here on this 7 o'clock hour. Camera 3, Megan always has the choice here on where we go with these cameras. And we're looking back at Turtle Rock from Orondo, or that kind of vicinity here this morning. And you can see the mantle of snow up in the higher elevation. It looks like we're going to get some more snow up for Mission Ridge and such coming up today. And that's good news for those in the ag industry looking at water situations later on. But the more snow we can get in higher elevations, the better. But you see the Columbia River there, or Lake Eniat, if you will, fairly calm this morning. Not much of a breeze to speak of. Camera 4, we will look upon, oh, look at that shot from Billy Goat up above Pateros as we look down on the upper stretches of the Columbia River. And that area in the distance there, the water you see is called the Brewster Pool. And according to the prognostications from those that know, or think they know anyway, there may be a fishery this summer on sockeye salmon on the Brewster Pool. A lot of folks will be taking part in that. But hello, Brewster, hello, Pateros, and hello, Okanagan County. This morning, our look outside our windows brought to you by Sky-Fi Wireless Network. Now, as far as the weather is concerned, yeah, a little bit of change coming up. We're starting off with a nice morning, but increasing clouds today. Maybe a chance of some snow through the midday today. Not going to warm up all that much, maybe around freezing or a tick below. 31, the expected high today. Of course, Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is sponsoring our weather forecast here on the NCW Life Channel. Tonight, cloudy skies, lows down in the 20s. Tomorrow, we're looking at cloudy skies again, warming up, however, with a high tomorrow reaching about 42 degrees. Extended forecast, more clouds, maybe some rain tomorrow night and into Thursday as temperatures remain fairly mild for this time of year. 47 the high on Thursday and Friday. Maybe some clouds. At first we're saying sunny on Saturday. Now they're saying clouds and showers possible Saturday with temperatures in the middle 40s. Nighttime lows in the 30s as we push that sunshine back maybe to Sunday and Monday in the extended forecast. The official high for Wenatchee yesterday, 39 degrees up at the airport. The overnight low actually is right now. It's cooled down a couple of degrees since I got to the studio this morning. Went from 25 down to 23 degrees. The record high for today, 58 degrees, set in 2018 and 1967. A couple of different dates. It was pretty warm. The record low, let's be thankful we're not there because typically we have that kind of weather in February. -2, the record low temperature in 1989. Normally we're at 39 for the high and 27 for the low. So actually tomorrow we're going to be right in that ballpark. Sunrise this morning coming up at 7:23. Sunset tonight will be at 5:07. Now as far as the mountain passes are concerned, not too bad right now, but looking at possibility of some snow coming up later on today. You see the snow starting to fall there on Snoqualmie Pass. There's no restrictions on the highway, however. Roadway, they say, is mostly bare and dry, a few wet spots. Currently 23 at the summit. With cloudy skies, and again, as you can see in there, it doesn't say it on the verbiage, but there is some light snow falling up at Snoqualmie Pass with that temperature, 23 degrees. The other passes we have this morning for you, this is Stevens Pass. You can see a little bit more inclement there with It's 20 degrees at the summit, scattered clouds. They're expecting snow again today, compact snow and ice on the roadway with a traction advisory in effect. And then Blewett Pass, not too bad. Going to be a little slick in spots with some icy conditions, but mostly clear skies. A chilly 12 degrees at the summit of Blewett Pass. No restrictions. Roadway is bare and dry. Again, you can get these on the mountain passes with the DOT's website at dot.wa.gov or wsdot.com, I guess you will, to get that current information on what's happening in the mountain passes. So that's a look at our weather forecast, and I should mention again, it's chilly out there right now, 23 degrees under mostly fair skies in the Wenatchee Valley. Our humidity right now at 73%, winds zero, nada, not much happening as far as the wind is concerned. So a cool and calm start to this Tuesday. What's happening in the world of news? We will talk about that. Coming up next, it's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on a Tuesday. Eric in for Dan here on the NCW Life channel.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I'm a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
7 minutes past the hour here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. In for the vacationing Dan Kutz. I'm Eric Granstrom on the NCW Live channel. Thanks for joining us this morning. Clear skies and 23 degrees, some clouds moving in, maybe a chance of snow by midday today. As far as our local news is concerned, rescue agencies went to the aid of an injured snowmobiler above Lake Wenatchee Sunday afternoon. Lake Wenatchee Fire and Rescue Chief Mick Lamar told NCW Life it happened when the vehicle went off an embankment and the popular Pole Ridge snowmobile route.
Early yesterday afternoon, we were notified of a potential snowmobile accident with injuries up on Snowcone. And we responded. Our fire district has a snowmobile trailer with 2 snowmobiles and a toboggan in a partnership with the Chelan County Sheriff's Office and Cascade Medical. We responded to the scene, met up with a deputy sheriff, sent some individuals up the hill and found a snowmobiler who was injured. In the meantime, we'd asked for life flight to be launched and staged them at the Rec Club airstrip. The responders got to the scene, were able to package the patient, and then we flew the helicopter up on the mountain and picked up the patient and flew her down to Central Washington for further evaluation.
In other news this morning, flat tires didn't stop a high-speed vehicle pursuit in Moses Lake on Sunday, but a dead end finally did. When it was all over, the Grant County Sheriff's deputies arrested 48-year-old Erica D. Merritts of Moses Lake for attempting to elude police. It began about 1:10 in the afternoon when a deputy spotted a vehicle running a stop sign at a high speed at Patton Boulevard and Highway 17. That started a chase that wound its way to the Diamond Point area of Moses Lake before the suspect headed down Valley Road, where spike strips were set up that flattened the vehicle's left side tires. Merritt stopped her car for a moment before taking off again, police said. She then was chased to Big Bend Community College, where she ran into a dead end at the softball field and was arrested. Well, a Wenatchee attorney is in legal trouble in Canada after allegedly trying to smuggle a rifle and handgun across the border. Authorities say 59-year-old Sean B. Jensen tried to bring a restricted AR-15 and a .22 caliber pistol into Canada through the Osoyoos border crossing back on October 25th, along with ammo magazines. Prosecutors in Penticton, BC, have now charged him with 8 criminal counts, including smuggling, false statements to customs officers, and unlawful firearm possession. Jensen has held a law license in Washington since 1988. His next court appearance in Penticton is scheduled for tomorrow. A Malaga man is accused of coercing women to set up bank accounts, then depositing phony checks and taking out the cash. Damian Scott Halley, who's 22, was arrested last week, allegedly used accounts created by 3 women to cash false checks, making off with a total of $4,500. Once the accounts were set up, police said Haley would threaten violence if the women would not make withdrawals for him. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies arrested him Friday, seeking multiple counts of forgery, identity theft, and witness intimidation. He's now held in Chelan County Jail on a $100,000 bond. Well, both men involved in a November burglary and theft of a bus at Palisade School have now pleaded guilty. Jordan McCullough, who's 19, was the latest to enter his plea in Douglas County Superior Court on Monday to counts of burglary, motor vehicle theft, and obstruction. Devin R. Taylor, who's 27, pleaded to similar charges in January. The two men broke into the small rural school November 2nd and stole tools, fuel, an air compressor, and the school's only bus. Both awaited sentencing. Prosecutors plan to recommend a 5-year prison term for Taylor, who has several prior convictions. McCullough could be sentenced to drug rehab. Well, Wenatchee police say an 18-year-old suspect set out to intimidate the victim of an armed robbery. Prosecutors charged Brian Solis on Monday with a single count of witness tampering. He allegedly sent threatening Snapchat messages to a victim robbed by Alan Meza Duarte, who pleaded guilty last month and received a 1-year prison sentence. Solis was booked into the Chelan County Jail on Thursday. He remains there on a $50,000 bond. Don't forget to watch our evening news tonight with Grant Olson. In fact, for a little snippet, Grant has more. Grant, what do you have for tonight?
Good morning, Eric. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we'll visit with Republican gubernatorial candidate Lauren Culp. I'll have your much warmer north central Washington weather forecast, and Eric will be in with a look at sports. That and all the day's news coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 right here on the NCW Life channel. We hope to see you then. Back to you, Eric.
All right, thank you much, Grant. Yeah, you get me for bookends today. I'll be doing sports later on this evening. Sports news coming up here next. But first, if you'd like to contact us to give us a news tip, you're certainly welcome to do so. You can do that through our website at ncwlife.com. You can email us at news@ncwlife.com. You can also call us direct to the newsroom at 888-NCWL. That's 888-NCWL. Or better yet, you can even reach out through our Facebook page and contact us there. We'll take a quick break here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Come back with sports news, also our obscure holidays, some important notes in history, and birthdays. That's all coming up right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
People are really skeptical of our industry. They have been sold products, they have been sold policies they either don't need, don't understand, confusing. I understand that. We are more about the process and the people. Our SFG roadmap is designed to take care of all of those concerns. For those that have questions about their retirement, we would love the opportunity to sit down and chat with you.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine-in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Open 7 days a week, Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in or take it to go, our friendly staff is here to serve you. Reservations recommended for Friday night's prime rib dinner. Call for live music dates. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
14 minutes past the hour on a chilly Tuesday here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. In for Dan Kuntz, I'm Eric Granstrom. One of those mornings with the humidity kind of high and the temperatures at 23 degrees, so probably some frost on the windshields this morning as you get out and get ready for work. So be sure and give yourself time to scrape off the ice before you head down the highway. Let's take a look at sports news this morning. Well, pitchers and catchers report to spring training in Peoria for the Seattle Mariners, believe it or not, in just 8 days. A particular pitcher, however, is reportedly all smiles today. Former Wenatchee Apple Sox Marco Gonzalez had his contract with the Mariners extended Monday through the 2025 season with a team option for 2026. Now the veteran atop the Seattle starting rotation, Gonzalez was already on a contract through this season that paid him $1 million. His new contract, reportedly worth $30 million. Congratulations to Marco. Mariners' first Cactus League game is coming up on Saturday, February 22nd. Well, the wait is over for former Seahawk legend Steve Hutchinson, who this summer will be enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. How about that? Hutchinson, one of the best offensive linemen of his era, was one of 5 modern-era selections for the 2020 Hall of Fame class, along with safety Troy Polamalu, receiver Isaac Bruce, safety Steve Atwater, and running back Edgerrin James. The announcement came on Saturday. A first-round pick in 2001 draft, Hutchinson earned All-Pro honors 3 times and was a 3-time Pro Bowler during his 5 seasons with the Seahawks. Of course, back then, he blocked for Shaun Alexander. Then he went on to Minnesota, where he blocked for Adrian Peterson. Hutchinson played 6 years with the Vikings before ending his career in 2012 with Tennessee. He was a 7-time Pro Bowler, 5-time first-teamer at All-Pro, and played 169 games in his 12-year career. Congratulations, Steve Hutchinson. I've had a chance to play golf with him a few times here in the Wenatchee Valley. By the way, he is one of the largest human beings I've ever seen without a shirt on. His shoulders, I mean, it's just ridiculous how big that guy was. I'm sure not quite as big today, but Steve Hutchinson, a Hall of Famer. We'll take a look at the Prep Girls basketball schedule for tonight. Central Washington Athletic Conference play. Ephrata hosts Grandview at 5:45, while Quincy takes on Othello at that same time. Caribou Trail Lake tonight, it's Omak at Cascade, while Cashmere hosts Okanagan at 5:45. Then on the B floors tonight, Etienne hosts Pateros at 5:45, followed by Manson at Tonasket at 6 o'clock. On the boys' schedule, well, looks very similar, just different start times. Grandview plays at Ephrata at 7:15. That's the same time for Quincy hosting Othello. Omak tips at Cascade at 7:15, while Cashmere hosts Okanagan. Manson plays at Tonasket at 7:30, and that's also the start time for Etienne at home against Pateros tonight. Hard to believe the high school basketball season already winding down, just a couple of weeks left before the postseason. Well, the Wenatchee Wild begin an arduous 3-game road trip this week tonight, or make that tomorrow night in Prince George. The puck drops at the Rolling Mix Concrete Arena at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Then on Friday, Wenatchee heads for Surrey, BC to face the Eagles, also at 7. Then it's on to South Surrey Arena. Oh, actually, the South Surrey Arena is where they'll play on Friday. Then finally, Saturday, Wenatchee's at the George Preston Arena to face the Langley Rivermen. That game starts at 7:15. All told, the Wild will travel 1,304 miles over the next 5 days. Say a little prayer for the boys as the season winds down in the BCHL. Wenatchee's currently 5th place in the Interior Division with 52 points, 3 points behind Vernon and 4 back of Salmon Arm. Now, the BCHL Board of Governors met last weekend. They approved a new configuration of the league starting next season. Here you see it. With the expansion Cranbrook Bucks beginning their inaugural campaign next year, the board voted in favor of changing to a 2-conference system with 9 teams on each side. The Coastal Conference will consist of the current Island and Mainland Division teams, minus Prince George Spruce Kings, while the Interior Conference will see Cranbrook added as well as Prince George. The league has also announced that it is moving from a 58-game schedule to 54, as well as a later start date in September. So some changes for the BCHL. Well, coming up on the NCW Live sports schedule this week, actually begins tonight. We'll rebroadcast the Wenatchee Eisenhower boys basketball game from earlier in January. That's tonight at 7 o'clock. Thursday's hockey night, so as the Wild take on the Trail Smoke Eaters. That's at 7. Our checker on your play-by-play there. Then coming up Friday, I'll be at Eastmont High School for the Wildcats game against the Davis Pirates. The girls game will be live on our Facebook stream at 5:45. We'll air it on TV after our evening news at 6:30. And then the boys will be live on Facebook at 7:30. The television broadcast of that will be at 8 o'clock. Now, just a note here. Saturday, we're going to forego the rest of our sports schedule here on the NCW Live channel and get you Apple Blossom. And we're going to be all full of blossoms coming up this weekend. There's your schedule. We'll start it off with the debut broadcast of A Lot of Fuss About a Parade. That's the Apple Blossom documentary. That'll be at 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon. My interviews with the top 10 candidates will be at 5:30. And then 6:30, we're live with yours truly and former Queen Julie Agins-Kuntz for a countdown to coronation. That's at 6:30. And then at 7 o'clock, live from the Wenatchee High School Auditorium, it's the Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant. There's multiple ways you can watch it all right here on TV on Local Tel Channel 12, on Charter Channel 19. We'll stream it on our website at ncwlife.com and also on our Facebook page. That's a look at sports news at 20 minutes past the hour here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Speaking of the Apple Blossom ladies, more of our top 10 interviews. We'll introduce you to another couple of candidates coming up in the last half of the show here this morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll introduce you to Haley Gilman and Kaia St. You can see the interviews, if you don't want to wait around for that, on our Facebook page. We've got the link up right now. You can see the young ladies' beautiful photos that were provided to us by the Apple Blossom Festival, and read more about the ladies in their bios, and then also see the interviews that I did. But we'll have that later on coming up right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Well, today is the 4th of February. I had a choice of some different things to pull from on the obscure holiday of the day today, but decided to go with National Thank a Mail Carrier Day today. It originally was called Thank a Mailman Day, but then they thought that was kind of sexist. So it's Thank a Mail Carrier Day. Reminds us that someone makes sure the mail gets through 6 days a week, 52 weeks a year. By the way, just a little factoid here. The nation's first Postmaster General, do you know who that was, kids? Benjamin Franklin. I didn't know that either before I looked that up. The first postage stamps were invented in 1847, and the zip codes. Now this is interesting. I thought that would have been, at least 100 years old where we had zip codes. No. 1963 is when they came up with the zip codes. So what's yours? Well, see, we're in 98801 right now. I live in 98802. That's kind of like, I think the Dewey Decimal System, to keep track of the books in the library. They thought, well, we need to keep track of where people are geographically. So let's assign a zone to each. Let's call it a zip code. Now, zip. Now, that's one I didn't look up. I don't know why they call it zip. I'm sure zip probably stands for something, but not that I would be aware of. Zone in postal. Maybe that's it. Zip. There you go. National Thank a Mail Carrier Day today. Of course, as a kid growing up in Cedar Woolley, Washington, my hero was the neighbor we had down the street, Ed Blanton. Ed Blanton was our mailman, and he was also a racer at Skagit Speedway. So, they're like, wow, I looked at him go by carrying the mail bag, and I thought, that guy's really, really cool. So thank your mail person today. Give him a little gift. That used to be the thing, holidays, that type of thing. You'd put a little something in the mailbox for the mail carrier. Do you do that anymore? We should, especially today. It's a day to thank them. All right, February 4th. What's on this day in history? Well, it was on this date in 1938. A little animated film was released by Disney. I think you might recognize it.
More than 250,000 paintings like these were created by Walt Disney and his staff of artists to make the most daring adventure in the history of motion pictures, with new and amazing characters: Snow White, warm, human, the lovable 7 dwarfs. But let Walt Disney tell you about them himself.
Dwarfs' names fit their personalities. This pompous-looking individual is Doc, the self-appointed leader of the group. And this little fellow is Bashful. He's secretly in love with Snow White. And this funny face is Sneezy. He has hay fever. And old Droopy Eyes is called Sleepy, and Happy here with the beaming smile. And old Sourpuss here is Grumpy, the woman hater. And last but not least is Dopey. He's nice, but sort of silly.
Can you believe that? 1938, Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs came out. Now, that was interesting. Well, introducing Grumpy as a woman hater. What? I thought he was just kind of grumpy. Didn't know that he didn't like women. But that Walt, hey, Walt's the creator, so. All right. Major motion picture success also in the box office. It made more money than any film ever had at that time back in 1938. It was on this date in 1955. Today's the first day of the invention of the Barbie doll. Yes. On this date in 1959, the doll created by Ruth Handler, who was one of the founders of the Mattel Company. Barbie was named after Ruth's daughter. I didn't know that. Later on, the Ken doll was made, and guess who the Ken doll was named after? Her son. There you go. Barbie, introduced on this date in 1959. Also, it was on this date, believe it or not, in 2004 that we all got to say hello to Facebook and get to know all of our former friends that we lost in high school and then reconnect once again and cause marital problems and things like that. Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg came up with Facebook back on this date in 2004 with some buddies at Harvard. Yeah, look at those numbers there. Today, 2.26 billion users per day. And if Zuckerberg and the company decided to sell, it would go for about $138 billion. That's with a B, billion dollars. Facebook. I think they could have called it time suck as well, because it seems a lot of people spend a lot of time on Facebook. Well, and that's the thing. Social media, this whole kind of social media thing, I think started with Facebook. And now we've gone to Twitter and we've gone to Instagram, we've gone to all these things. If I didn't have to use it for work, I don't think I would use it. But, that's just me. So 2004, Facebook celebrating its birthday today. And I'm sure if you're on Facebook, Facebook's going to send you something about it being their birthday today. Speaking of birthdays, let's talk about who's having birthdays today. You might recognize a few of these names. Alice Cooper is celebrating his 72nd birthday today. He was born Vincent Damon Furnier, but decided to go by Alice Cooper. Actually, the band that he was part of originally was called Alice Cooper. Of course, singer-songwriter, actor whose career has spanned over 50 years. Distinctive raspy voice and stage show features numerous props, including guillotines, electric chairs, fake blood, reptiles, baby dolls, dueling swords, and who can forget the bats. Alice Cooper is 72 today. Lawrence Taylor, LT, celebrating his 61st birthday today. I'm sure LT would probably tell you that he didn't expect to make it to 61, but he's still around. Played his entire NFL career with the New York Giants from 1981 to 1993. Despite admitting to drug use during his playing days, actually, while he played, Taylor was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1999. Lawrence Taylor, LT, one of the best defensive ends ever, was born on this date 61 years ago today. So happy birthday to LT. Also, a local celebrity celebrating a birthday today. The current Wenatchee Apple Sox assistant general manager, Allie Shank, is having a birthday. Happy birthday, Allie. And we won't tell how old you are because, I don't know how old you are. So happy birthday to Allie and happy birthday to you. If you have a birthday to share with us that you'd like to pass along on the old television set, we can do so. Just email us and let me know about it, and we can do that here this week. Or anniversary, too. We'd like to pass those along, especially if folks have been sticking together for all these years. We'll take a break and come back. Mike Magnotti, you're entitled to his opinion, whether you want it or not. That's coming up. Also, our top 10 candidate interviews continue this week here on the Wake Up Wenatchee Valley portion of our programming. Today, we'll meet Haley Gilman and Kaia St. That's all straight ahead here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
Wow, Wenatchee Valley, Collins Winter Clearance has begun. 30% off boots, coats, jackets, vests, sweaters, tunics, tops, selected jeans and slacks, winter scarves and gloves. All red checked items are 30% off. Lotus handbags, selected Brighton luggage and jewelry, all on sale. And your favorite brands like Joseph Ribkoff, French dressing, Tribal, Icelandic, soft boots, etc. Super service, super selection, all at Collins Fashions, where fun meets fashions in downtown Wenatchee.
It's a super 22-hour sale this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Walker's Furniture and Mattress, where they'll be open special hours offering store-wide savings of 25 to 60%. That's 25 to 60% off all bedroom furniture, office, living room, and dining room furniture, or long-term no-interest financing. Or sleep better on this comfortable Queen Eurotop mattress. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, only at Walker's Furniture and Mattress.
I have a hereditary bone disease from the female side of my family. My bone loss was so significant that you could almost see the roots. I became embarrassed and I started covering my mouth. Eating became very difficult as far as I stopped eating apples, corn on the cob, things that you just eat as it is without utensils. Dr. Divis was my dentist prior to having implants. We talked about traditional dentures or implants, and implants was the only way really that I could go. John Divis and all of his office staff, they checked on me throughout all the processes. I would never go anyplace else. Today, I can eat corn on the cob. I can have apples. Thanks to Dr. John Divis and his staff, I have my smile back. I feel more confident. I am me again.
This is John Divis. Let our team help you solve your dental needs.
The Cottage Inn has been a Wenatchee Valley landmark since 1940, making it one of the longest-running locally owned restaurants around. And it's better than ever. Steak, seafood, and their famous homemade desserts for dinner, wonderful lunch items, and breakfast on Sundays, all made from scratch and at an affordable price. It's no wonder the Cottage Inn has been so popular for over 75 years. Enjoy a fabulous meal today at the Cottage Inn on Easy Street in Old Station. Arctic Refrigeration and Heating, serving North Central Washington, is proud to offer the finest heating and cooling air quality products along with prompt and professional customer service since 1984. Regardless of the temperature outside, Arctic is here for you. Arctic offers a variety of services: residential and commercial heating, air conditioning, commercial refrigeration, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
Hey, this is Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, 75% of us Americans consider ourselves Christians. Well, that's great. But our tendency as Americans, particularly those on the political right, we tend to mix our Christianity with our patriotism, and that's a big mistake. I mean, love of country is fine, but if my patriotism causes me to somehow justify something other than love your neighbor as yourself as somehow concurrent with my faith, I've crossed the line. And that's true, particularly in this day and age. Because, of course, when Jesus identified your neighbor, he was telling you to consider it was who you deem most objectionable. God is not going to protect or bless America at the expense of any other nation. And there's absolutely no reason to believe that America has a special place in God's heart over and above anyone else. I mean, I love being American too. I don't. But doing so doesn't trump my faith. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Experience the relaxation that a Bullfrog Spa provides. Visit Pool to Spa Services on Worthen Street, down from Pybus.
Thanks for joining us for the NCW Live Channel's Top 10 interviews with the candidates for the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. We have the Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant coming up, and we get a chance to meet another candidate. And joining us now, we have candidate Haley Gilman. Haley, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Haley is the daughter of Ken and Denise, very involved in FFA. Chapter and district president. How about you? Also involved with drama and Stage Kids. What is Stage Kids for those who don't know?
So Stage Kids is a organization here in the Valley that focuses on local youth theater. They just put on a performance of The Music Man at the PAC. Really what they aim to do is teach kids, self-responsibility, time management skills, and it's just a great way to get them involved and give them something to do over the day.
Nice. Tell us a little bit about yourself, other than what I just read off here.
Right, well, like you mentioned, I'm the daughter of Ken and Denise Gilman. I also have a little brother who is in 8th grade now, which is really weird to think about him growing up. I've lived in the Valley since I was 4 years old. We moved here from Tacoma. The biggest thing I'm involved in is FFA. It's really my passion, and all of the members and the people I get to meet really have shaped my life, and I feel that's my biggest passion. And I could talk to you about that all day, but I will not.
Do you have an animal then that got you into FFA, or?
So my mom works with a guy, Russell Redden, and he has rabbits, and he let me take one home, and so that was kind of how I got started into FFA, and I was raising rabbits, but really I focus on the leadership aspect and the public speaking and all of that good stuff. So.
Okay. Making the decision to do this, to run for Apple Blossom, first of all, why?
That's a really great question that I kind of had to ask myself at first too. You know, me and my friends, three of my best friends ran with me, and it was just kind of something to try out. This is really outside my comfort zone. I'm not one to, you know, put myself out there sometimes. I usually like to stick with what I'm comfortable with, but I thought that I've been involved in Apple Blossom from the parades, being in band and stuff, and I just thought it'd be a really great way to get involved again, and here I am.
What's your earliest memory of Apple Blossom Festival?
My earliest memory? Well, so we grew up in Tacoma, and we have a big family over there, and we used to have them all come over to our house for Apple Blossom because it was just such an amazing thing to witness, I guess, and we used to have 30, 40 people at our house and our neighbor's house because we're pretty close to them, and we'd all go to the food fair, we'd go to the parades, all that good stuff, and I think the earliest memory I have, it's really random, but my brother was on my cousin's shoulders, and we were walking through the food fair, and he was just had the biggest smile on his face, and it was just so much fun having everyone around.
That's awesome. As a child, what or who did you pretend to be when you played?
Oh, there was a lot of things I liked to pretend to be. I think the biggest one, I did pretend to be Mulan a lot. I thought it was so cool to be kind of, I don't know, really, you know.
Mulan's a hip chick. I mean,
she is a hip chick, and I was kind of a tomboy growing up, and so I thought it was always cool to, you know, pretend that I was going off to war and fighting for my family and stuff. And me and my brother would play and pretend we would take the head off of our pool cleaner, and we would spin that around, and we didn't do that for very long because one time I hit my brother.
Oh.
And yeah, we didn't play Mulan after that. But I think Mulan was the biggest one that I like to play as.
So what do you hope to do after high school?
After high school, I have been so inspired by my FFA advisors. I'm hoping to go into agricultural education like them. I feel like I can really impact some students' lives like my advisors have with me. But before that, if I am not elected, I'm hoping to run for state office for FFA. So I'd be taking a gap year to advocate for agriculture and the benefits of being in a student-led organization.
Sweet. What has been the highlight for you, if you could pick one, of this whole top 10 experience?
Oh, that's so hard because it's just been so amazing. I feel like I'm really learning a lot. I mean, we went to Sephora, and the ladies there were just so nice because I don't know a whole lot about makeup, and so I felt like that was a lot of fun to learn. I think the biggest thing, and it's going to sound cheesy, is just getting to spend time with all the other girls and the chaperones because I'm a people person. Like, I love talking to people, and I love hearing about people, so I really think that the highlight so far has been getting to know the other 9 girls and the 2 chaperones because they're just the sweetest things.
So what makes you most worthy of being queen over the other 9?
I don't really like that question, to be completely honest with you, because I think that really is the hardest question, because I think no matter who the top 3 are, I think any of those girls are an amazing pick to advocate for our valley because, like I said, they're all so sweet, they're all driven. I was reading their bios and stuff, and I was like, they're really dedicated to everything they do, and it's just everyone, oh, that's so hard. That's like choosing your favorite kid. Like, okay.
Thank you. Congratulations
Thank you so
on the top 10. Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, candidate Haley Gilman. Oh, hang on,
Sorry,
don't go away
sorry,
because
sorry.
we got to send them back to what we do normally. Yes.
We do.
Thanks for joining us here for our top 10 interview of the candidates here on the NCW Life channel.
My awesome is being part of the Nez Perce tribe. We have a tourism company, and we highlight the history and culture of the Nez Perce people. I found Washington Trust Bank because they were very involved in the community. They believed in me. They definitely saw the need for this in our region. All the folks at Washington Trust Bank are phenomenal. They've done such a wonderful job helping me along my journey.
What's your awesome? Whatever it is, we'll help you get there. A better grip. Right
right when you need it. The 2020 Nissan Altima has tech you can't get in a quarter Camry, like available intelligent all-wheel drive. This is instant confidence. This is Nissan Intelligent Mobility.
Nissan has some of the best-selling cars and SUVs in the country, and they're all here at Town Nissan, up behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
Thanks for joining us here on the NCW Live channel as we get the top 10 candidates in and interview them and let you know a little bit more about them as we get ready for the Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant. Let's introduce you to candidate Kaia St. John. Hi, Kaia.
Hi.
I got your first name right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Kaia.
Kaia, the daughter of Rebecca Tucker and Jed Gossman and Jake and Casey St. John. Did I get all that right?
Yeah,
Wow,
that's right.
batting 1,000 so far. Very involved. ASB, Running Start, senior class president, also a tutor.
Yeah.
What do you tutor?
Well, I have a year of work experience as a tutor at Orchard Middle School. So I was working with the after-school program there on a daily basis. I was a tutor and mentor.
I wanted to give you an opportunity right from the get-go to just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, okay. Well, I go to Wenatchee High School. Like you said, I'm senior class president, so super involved with that. I really like planning events for my peers. I'm a huge social butterfly, so that's been really fun for me this year. I'm the oldest of 4 siblings, so my brother's in high school, and we're really close. I love him so much. And then my little sisters are 5 and 3, so our house is super busy. Lots of fun, yeah.
Tell us why you chose to run for Apple Blossom.
For Apple Blossom? Okay, so I love public speaking. I know that sounds kind of crazy because a lot of people are scared of it, but as long as I can remember, like in middle school, giving speeches in like my 7th grade English class, I loved it. It makes me happy. It's exciting for me. So that was a really big part of it. Also, who doesn't love princess dresses and apples? So, I mean, you know.
So is this something you've thought about for a long time?
Yeah, it has. Not when I was like a little girl. Mostly I was just excited to see the princesses, but once I was in high school and my friends who were older than me were running, I started to realize, okay, like this is a real thing, like this is an option. And just seeing all my friends go through it was really inspiring, and so, yeah.
What did your parents say when you had the paperwork and you're actually doing it? What was their reaction?
They were so encouraging. They were really excited for me, and they're still so supportive and excited. Like I said, my little sisters, they're young, so they're always excited. They see me with my hair done and my dress on, and oh my gosh, Kaia, princess! So it's fun.
What was your earliest memory of Apple Blossom Festival?
Some of my earliest memories are dancing at the food fair with all the music. Those are some of my favorite memories I always look back on. Also, the caricatures that they had there. Did I say that word right? Okay, so yeah, I remember I had one of me on a horse as a cowgirl, and that I got done during Apple Blossom, and that was up on my wall for so long.
As a child, what or who did you pretend to be when you would play?
Ooh, I think I would pretend to be Cinderella. I remember singing to the birds a lot, honestly. Yeah, I think I was inspired by Cinderella, and so I just like to talk to the squirrels and the birds. I remember doing that when I was like 3.
What do you want to do after high school?
I want to major in public relations, hopefully at WSU. So my plan is to major public relations, maybe minor in nutrition.
So what do you hope to do with that education?
I hope to work do some sort of community outreach. I love working with people, as you can see in a lot of the work I've done already. You know, I'm in ASB, I'm planning events, I'm getting people together. I was a tutor and a mentor for middle school kids. It's just in me, in my personality, and so I think that I'm already on that path and I'm loving it and I'm thriving and I feel like I'm growing a lot, so why not continue to pursue that path?
What has been the highlight for you so far of this top 10 experience?
Getting to know the other girls, getting comfortable with each other, and just building those friendships. It's really unfolded naturally, and that's been so encouraging and inspiring to me. I can see how we've all grown so much already, and I'm really excited to see how the next couple of weeks continue to shape us.
So, that being said, what makes you worthy to be queen above the rest?
Oh, that's so hard. I love them all so much. I can't do that, Eric.
Well, we want to know why we should be voting for you.
So kind of like I was saying earlier, with community outreach just being in everything that I do, it just fits right in. I love public speaking, like I was saying, like it's not a far stretch. My ASB advisor was asking me that same question, why Apple Blossom? And when I answered saying I love public speaking, her response was, well, that's good because, you know, scholarships aren't, money isn't everything. And that was kind of surprising to me because honestly, I hadn't been thinking about the scholarship because I was so excited about the speech.
Well, congratulations on being a top 10.
Thank you so much.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
That is candidates Kaia, I want to get it right, Kaia St. John, joining us here as we get to know the top 10 candidates for the Apple Blossom Festival and the Royalty Selection Pageant coming your way here on the NCW Life channel.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
Local breweries are on a row in Wenatchee. Brewers Row, that is. Start with Wenatchee Valley Brewing Company near Riverside 9 Apartments. Continue south down Riverside Drive to Columbia Valley Brewing. Then it's off to Badger Mountain Brewing on the corner of Arrondo and Columbia Streets. Further south on Columbia is 509 Beer Works. Each has its own charm, unique menu, and some of the best locally made brew around. Find it all on Brewers Row along the waterfront in downtown Wenatchee. Aaron Lindholm, the Executive Director at Prestige Senior Living at Colonial Vista in Wenatchee, gives us an overview of the campus and the services they offer.
So Colonial Vista was built back in 1968. So the great thing about our product here in Wenatchee is we really do have a continuum of care from independent living to assisted living, long-term care, rehab, and so we're really able to take care of our residents right here on campus. And we look at this as our residents' home, and we're honored to serve them in their home each and every day.
Call today for your tour. Just about 12 minutes before the hour on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. In for Dan Kuntz, I'm Eric Granstrom here on the NCW Life channel, and a change in our forecast coming up today. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a few moments. By the way, if you want to read more and see more of our interviews with the top 10 candidates, you can do so on our website, ncwlife.com. Best way to do it, the girls are for today are up on the main page, but head to full episodes and then click on special events, and you'll see all 10 interviews that we did with the ladies right here on the NCW Life channel. And thanks again to Haley Gilman and Kaia St. John for joining us today. The link also is up on our Facebook page for today if you want to learn more about that. We have time here, so let's go ahead and give you a little bit of a taste of our In Focus program this week. NCW Life newsman Steve Hare had a chance to sit down and talk with the Republican gubernatorial candidate Lauren Culp. Here's just a taste.
I'm Steve Hare with In Focus. Welcome to NCW Life. My guest in studio today is Lauren Culp, GOP candidate for governor of the state of Washington. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Also police chief of the town of Republic.
Yes. Yep. I've been the chief of police up there for about 4 years.
Well,
been a police officer there for 10.
Let's talk about your campaign. How's it going so far?
It's going phenomenally. I've never been a candidate. I've never ran for office before in my life. Never expected to until about a year or so ago. But it's going great. I've got a person as my campaign manager, Chris Gergen, that used to work for Donald Trump in the 2016 election, ran the state of Oregon for him, and he's now my campaign manager. So he definitely knows what he's doing, and he's a big help.
So let's talk about your experience in law enforcement.
I started in law enforcement late in my life. because I ran my own business for over 20 years. I was had a construction business over in the Olympia area after I got out of the Army. And I did concrete foundations and driveways and framed houses for over 20 years. And then I'd always wanted to be a police officer because when I was young, my dad was a deputy sheriff. And he would take me out on the road with him sometimes, wake me up in the middle of the night, go to an accident or something like that. And I always thought I would be in that line of work. But when I got out of the military, he was done with law enforcement and he was into construction. He had bought a lumber yard and a hardware store in Republic and moved us from Chimacum, which is over by Port Townsend, over to Republic. And so I got out of the military and went into construction in the Olympia area. And after about 21 years, my wife Barb, who was my high school sweetheart that I met in Republic in high school, we decided that we had enough of the West Side. We wanted to get back to small town living, where she grew up her whole life. And a job opening came open for a police officer. And at 49 years old, I thought, well, if I don't do it now and try to realize my childhood dream, then I'm going to be too old. So at 49 years old, I applied for the job for police officer, and I went through the academy and became an officer. And I spent the last 10 years as a police officer. I've been a patrol officer, a sergeant, narcotics detective for over 3 years. And for the last almost 4 years, I've been the chief of police in Republic.
I was going to say it's a big jump from being a police chief in the small town of Republic to becoming the governor of the state of Washington.
Yes, it is.
Huge jump. So why do you think you're qualified?
Well, I thought the same thing, too. I talked to an old friend of mine, used to be the campaign manager for Pat Buchanan's presidential race. And I told him, when I was thinking about this, that, a police chief is, I'm kind of thinking down here, and, governor is up here. And he looked at me and he said, Lauren, the only difference between what you think is down here and what you think is up here is they had an idea to change things. They told enough people about it, and they put their name on the ballot and got elected. He said, that's the only reason. So forget about your thinking that you are down here and a governor's up there. It's a person doing a job and surrounding them with people that will help them do that job.
That's Steve Hare and Lauren Culp, the gubernatorial candidate on the GOP side. We'll have more on that coming up with the evening news with Grant Olson tonight here at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. The NCW Life Evening News. We'll also have that posted soon to our website at ncwlife.com. Well, let's see what's in store for us weather-wise here today as we get through this Tuesday, the 4th of February 2020. Patriot Plumbing is our sponsor of the weather forecast. Cloudy skies today. The National Weather Service saying maybe a chance of some snowflakes falling here for the Wenatchee Valley. 31 are expected high today. It's off to a chilly start this morning. In fact, when I got here to the office, it was 25 degrees, and since then it has dropped a couple of notches. It went down to 23, but now with the cloud cover moving in, it's at 25 once again here in the Wenatchee Valley. Tonight we'll see cloudy skies, lows down around 27. Not much precipitation. In fact, no precipitation expected overnight tonight. Tomorrow we'll see increasing clouds, a high temperature of 42. Wednesday night, a slight chance of showers developing with lows in the middle 30s. We'll see that in the form of rain here for the Wenatchee Valley. Thursday, warming up again with high temperatures in the upper 40s. Look at that, 47 for the high expected on Friday. With cloudy skies, nighttime lows should be in the 30s throughout the extended period. At first, they were saying sunshine Saturday. Now they're saying partly cloudy with a slight chance of rain or possibly snow. That'll probably be early Saturday morning and then probably some clearing Saturday afternoon. 45 for the high on Saturday. Sunday's forecast high 45 with sunshine, dry as well on Monday with a high in the 40s. Now, the high temperature for Wenatchee yesterday was 39 degrees. The overnight low actually was this morning at 23. Record high temperature for today was set a couple of different times in 1967 and just a couple of years ago in 2018 of 58 degrees. Grant and I were talking about that in the newsroom yesterday because we had 2 days in a row or so of very warm temperatures in February a couple of years ago. And I was like, man, why don't I remember that? But then I heard an interview on KPQ yesterday with the folks at Wenatchee Parks Department talking about the Polar Bear Plunge, which is coming up this Saturday, by the way, as they get ready for the Special Olympics Winter Games. And they said that a couple of years ago, there was green grass, and the grass was actually growing at Walla Walla Point Park. And I went, yeah, that's right. So that was 2 years ago, 2018. We saw temperatures up near 60 degrees. The record low for today, and this is typically, we haven't had that so far, and we'll knock on wood there, but we're usually seeing those temperatures plummet January, February. Here we are on the 4th of February, but the record low today was set back in 1989 of -2. Normal for this time of year, 39 for the high and 27 for the low. So next couple of days will be in that vicinity. Sunrise this morning was at 7:23. The sun will set tonight at 5:07, giving us 2 minutes more of daylight today than we had yesterday. And then tomorrow we'll have 2 minutes more of daylight, and we just keep getting longer and longer days. Now, as far as the mountain passes are concerned, the snow expected up there as well. Here's the latest pass cameras. So not too bad as far as Snoqualmie Pass. They were getting some light snow earlier. No restrictions on Snoqualmie Pass. Currently, it is 23 degrees at the summit of Snoqualmie under partly cloudy skies. Roadway bare and dry, wet in places, it says. Looks like a little slush on the side of the road there, so be careful if you're traveling over I-90 Snoqualmie Pass. Stevens Pass this morning, a little bit different story with some snow and ice on the roadway as you see there. Overcast skies and 20 degrees at the summit of Stevens. A traction advisory in effect both east and westbound across US 2 on Stevens Pass. Blewett Pass this morning looking in pretty good shape with mostly bare and dry conditions, a little ice in places, overcast skies. Chilly 14 degrees up at the summit of Blewett Pass, but no restrictions. Checking other passes here this morning, it looks like everything is in pretty good shape all around the Pacific Northwest as far as the higher elevations here in Washington. But again, Snoqualmie Pass with a little bit of slush in places, but pretty good shape. Stevens is the worst of our passes this morning on US 2 with snow and ice and a traction advisory. You can get that information by going online, by the way, at wsdot.com. And check out their mountain passes. Just click on that and you'll see the latest and get a quick review of the mountain passes. They also have an app I think you can download to your phone and be able to look at that at a moment's notice. Yesterday I was talking about the big fervor is about the Super Bowl and the halftime show. And I mentioned it on my Facebook page after I got done watching it. I was kind of shocked. I was like, wow, yeesh, that was a lot of angles that I wasn't really prepared for. But there was a lot of fervor and a lot of kickback towards my post from women I know who were like totally in favor of that halftime show and the fact that there were two women, Jennifer Lopez is 50 and Shakira is 42, 43, something like that, and look that good and have worked that hard to do what they did. And so I actually went home and I have it on the recording. And so, of course, my wife, Marion, is like, what are you doing? And I said, well, I want to rewatch the halftime show. She's like, sure you do. But I rewatched it again. And after watching it again and watching it through a different perspective, a different lens, if you will, I will say that actually it was good. And yeah, there was some skimpy wardrobes and things like that. But I guess in today's culture, it's everywhere. So I guess I won't be as shocked about it as I first was when I watched it live. But watching it again and all the dancing that went on and everything like that, other than the outfits. And I guess I didn't know that Jennifer Lopez was also helping to promote a movie she has coming up regarding the poll. I didn't know about that. So I know now. But I have a little different opinion on the Super Bowl halftime. Hey, coming up this weekend, Saturday, we've got the Apple Blossom Festival's Royalty Selection Pageant coming up. It's going to be the last part of a full day of fun here on the NCW Life Channel, talking about blossoms with a lot of fuss about a parade. The broadcast debut of that documentary that was put together for the Apple Blossom, that'll be 4 o'clock Saturday here on the NCW Life Channel. Meet the top 10. My interviews with all 10 candidates will start at 5:30. Countdown to Coronation live with yours truly and Julie Agins-Kuntz will be at 6:30. And then the Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant at 7 o'clock. You can watch it live on TV on Localtel Channel 12, on Charter Channel 19, on our stream on our website at ncwlife.com, and also on our Facebook page. That's where you can stream it as well. Looking forward to that. I'll be wearing a tuxedo on Saturday. Yeah, you don't get me in that very often, especially with those rented shoes, but that'll be the case coming up Saturday here on the NCW Life channel. That's going to do it for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley here today. Don't forget to join us for the evening news tonight at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock, and I'll be back here bright and early tomorrow morning at 7 for another edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Happy Tuesday, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.